Yes, Sir Hairless here. Today we're back with another Patreon request for VoicePlay. Thank you for this one. This is their cover of Total Eclipse of the Heart. It's featuring Ashley Deanne. Now, I've seen her before once with them, and that was in their cover of We Don't Talk About Bruno. I loved that one. I actually rated it a 9.4 out of 10, which is insanely high on my rating scale. It's one of the highest rated bits of music we've done on this channel so far. So I'm very excited for this one, naturally. Total Eclipse of the Heart. Classic song, iconic song. Originally, it's by Bonnie Tyler. She has that famous husky voice. I know the song pretty well. I love it. Used to love it as a kid. I remember dancing around in the kitchen to it. But there is a cover version of it that I do prefer, and that's the only version of this song I've really listened to in the last number of years. So when I re-listened to the original song just now, there were a couple of surprises in there that I'd forgotten about. This VoicePlay version is a new release, 9 days old at the time of this recording. I've been told that they've previously done a short version of this, so I don't know, a 1-minute clip or so, and that this might be the first time that they've then made a full song out of a song they've done a short version of. I've not watched the short. I imagine maybe that will be part of this song. That could make sense. So let's dive in and see what this one's about.
Turn around. Every now and then I get a little bit lonely and you're never coming around. Turn around. Every now and then I get a little bit tired of listening to the sound of my tears. Every now and then I get a little bit nervous that the best of all my years have gone by. Every now and then I get a little bit terrified, and then I see the look in your eyes. Every now and then I fall apart. Every now and then I fall apart, and I need you now to love.
This is one I'll need to listen to many more times after this, making this video. And I know that I'm going to be hearing new things with each listen or things that I've missed. I'm struggling a bit because there's a lot going on in the video as well. I mean, from an arrangement perspective, first listen, we're about 1 minute in. This is one of their most interesting ones to my ears, but we'll need to hear the rest to see how it develops, I guess. Yeah, some really interesting things here. I kind of want to do the first pause now. Yeah, we'll do our first pause now. I kind of want to listen to it again, so we'll do that as we go through, and I'd like to point out a few things too. As always, if you don't want to hear my analysis, go to the timestamp. VoicePlay are singing in G minor. The original is in B flat. So they're down a little bit, down a minor third. The opening of the song, in the original, very, very famous. VoicePlay don't include this. Well, they start the video off kind of, you know, late 80s, early 90s style, grainy film, their outfits, set in an arcade, start off with Caesar and Ashley at the punch bag. But as for the music, they don't include this famous intro. They do include the first 3 notes, which are these. In G, it's notes 1, 5, and then this one, that's the 3rd note. So basically, 1, 5, 3, just as in the original song. But VoicePlay decide to immediately disperse into these juicy chords. We get immediate dissonance between Ellie and Ashley, straight from the off, which maybe gives us a bit of an idea of how this is going to develop. It's a really nice arrangement here, I think. We get the layering in of parts, as we often see, but the consequent movement of these parts adds so much fluidity to the sound. For example, Jeff's part there, I assume it's Jeff's part, he goes, this interval there, that's a nice major 6th jump up, and we have no low bass yet. We get Caesar emerging from this dissonance with breaking things up a bit rhythmically. And there, sorry to keep pausing, but the blend is so good. I'm not going to keep re-listening to say with 100% certainty who is singing which part. We can't see them in the video. And it's tough to say who's singing which part for some of this, which I like. Let's keep it as a mystery in this kind of just solid mass of sound. But the blend I wanted to highlight here. And Caesar's broken his hand for a score of, what was that, 5-7? Oh, you can do better than that, my friend, I'm sure.
Turn around. Every now and then I get a little.
So now when the lyrics come in, Ellie's part is the standout part from a harmonic perspective. What we basically hear is Jeff with the drone note, the middle part with some syncopated rhythms. We get the melody. The melody is outlining and adding to the chord. And then Ellie is going. And it's this A, it's this dissonance, also a suspension if we bring it down, you know, right in the middle there. And it's a nice low chesty melody from Ashley, quite kind of dramatic.
Little bit lonely and you're never coming around. Turn around.
Then as we go on, we're slowly now kind of breaking away from any familiarity we as the listener might be having. Jeff's entry, it comes in a bit late, which offsets the rhythmic clocks in our head a little bit.
Into the sound of my tears. Every now and then I get a.
Just after this, there was one part as well. Listen out for it. Who is that?
A little bit nervous that the best of all my years have gone by.
It sounds like Ellie, but Ellie also sounds like he's doing the ah part, which checks out in accordance with the video.
My years have gone by.
But I actually thought that the sound of that ah sounds like Lane, so it makes sense for these do's.
Little bit nervous that the best of all my years have gone by.
To be Ashley, although I don't think it sounds like her voice or even a woman's voice. Granted, I'm not very familiar with her voice yet, and everyone does have a unique voice, sound, timbre, etc. Anyway, the point is I'm really liking the intricacies in this arrangement so far. The additional layering, it's all very smooth flowing, I think. Quite difficult to dissect and really, really engaging. Yeah, I like it.
All my years have gone by. Every now and then I get a little bit terrified, and then I see the look in your eyes.
So Jeff, he goes down to this G sharp 1 and then outlines a 7th. So here to here, not quite the octave. Very, very cool, nice low part. And the harmony above contrasting Jeff, it's just very obvious. It's homophonic, so they're singing the same words at the same time as each other with the same rhythms, simple rhythms. It's like an exaggerated chordal section moving in the opposite direction to Jeff. And how do they make this sound even more blocky and chordal, kind of like chun, chun, chun.
A little bit terrified, and then I see the look in your eyes. Every now and
They're singing with flat tone, so no vibrato, no wobbles. There's been no beat as well, and the beat started just as I paused. There was some clicks.
I fall apart, and I need you now tonight.
Same as the original, there's no beat in the opening section. When I was listening to the original, the bit where the beat enters kind of threw me off. It was one of the surprises I mentioned in the introduction.
Every now and then I fall apart. Every now and then.
I completely forgot this existed in the song, or maybe I grew up with a different version. Okay, I just checked the official lyric video of the original song. That bit was not included. VoicePlay also don't include that bit. I think it's very unnatural sounding. So, overall, VoicePlay are sticking true to the original song in terms of structure. The first beat that we hear comes in roughly the same place. The main difference, though, is the depth of the harmony. How fluid the sound is because of the intricacies of the arrangement so far. Yeah, it's definitely one to listen to many times to really hear all the different parts and their individual melodic lines. Alright, let's carry on.
Apart, and I need you now tonight, and I need you more than ever. And if you only hold me tight, we'll be holding on forever, and we'll only be making it right, 'cause we'll never be wrong. Together we can take it to the end of the line. Your love is like a shadow on me all the time. I don't life, but now there's only love in the dark. Nothing I can say, a total eclipse of the heart.
Nothing I can say, a total eclipse of the
De vez en cuando siento que me estás olvidando y que no regresarás. De vez en cuando pienso que estoy muy
They're singing in Spanish. I don't speak Spanish, I've just turned the subtitles on. They're also in Spanish. Alright, well, we should probably do our second pause here. And then after this, we'll carry on to the end. I'm going to assume the Spanish lyrics are the English lyrics just in Spanish and not a different version of the song, a Spanish version of the song or something. Do let me know if that's not the case. Well, that's certainly different and unexpected. Let's go back a bit. Some more really, really nice things. There was this textural thickening from where we carried on. We've got Ashley and Jeff only, and then Caesar joins in very, very nicely.
And I need you more than ever. And if you only hold me tight.
Really nice, that bit. Very, very accurate with Ashley too. And then we get homophony on Holding On. They're literally holding on to this chord before.
We'll be holding on forever. And we'll only be making it around.
These rapid doo-doos come in. And the first ones we hear, they outline a fourth suspension in C. Nice video as well, Caesar just fading out. Why is this making me feel nostalgic about someone I've never met before? After that was a interesting part of the arrangement, I think. Again, we get this homophonic block movement of chords. Their chosen sound is kind of a whoa, whoa, whoa. And Jeff comes in intermittently, so he sings for one and then doesn't sing, and then sings and then doesn't.
Never be wrong. Together we can take it to the end of the line. Your love is like a shadow.
Not only does this remove the harmonic stability as the upper parts are gradually moving up above Ashley's melody, but it also exaggerates his next entry, which in turn exaggerates that high and then, yeah, very nice handover to Ellie. Yeah, and I love this bit. Ashley as well, she's handed over the melody. She now takes a back foot in becoming a supporting role, and she just fits in really well with the supporting massive sound. I say massive sound because even though it's calm, the sound is so rich and full. We have cross rhythms everywhere. We have parts coming together and working together in couples or thruples, then temporarily moving away, becoming independent. Yeah, really, really nice. A lot to listen out for. To use Ashley's part and Caesar's part as examples, Ashley goes and then sustains this last note, whereas Caesar is sustaining this note, which clashes with Ashley's sustained note, and then he moves down to resolve the dissonance. We've still got no beat. The emphasis is very much on the harmony, the words and the music to which they're set. It's emotional. I find it an emotional way of arranging anyway. And they are enjoying parallel movements in this arrangement.
Only love in the dark. Nothing I can say.
And they kind of stand out to me. It's just where parts, say this is 1, 2, 3 parts, where they move perfectly with each other up and down, which doesn't always make musical sense in terms of theory. Sometimes a part might want to hold a note before moving just to fit in with harmony. It's a bit unexpected, but only for very brief moments, and it's a stylistic choice. Whose arrangement is this? Which one of them? Ah, yes, Rob Dietz. I was told this actually, I'd just forgotten about that. Well, there we go. We can see stylistic differences in the arrangement. And with no beats, we've got Lane singing. He has some really nice bits. The bit I'm about to play, he goes, but then instead of going down, he goes back up.
nothing I can say.
His voice, I think, is very recognisable. Okay, so we had that ridiculously low F1 from Jeff. And then Spanish with percussion now coming in through Lane.
Total eclipse of the
Nothing I can say, eclipse total del amor. Nothing I can say, a total eclipse of the heart.
Yeah, that's some really interesting things there with this arrangement. I'm just going to need to listen to it a fair few more times, I think, and I'm sure my opinion will probably change with each listen as I hear more or some other things stand out. And the inclusion of the Spanish in it, very interesting. All right, well, let's go over some final points from that last section. We had some nice growth here. There's a moment where it sounds like every part is basically going up in a scale. The top parts do, the middle part or parts kind of goes up and then down and then up again. And Jeff, he moves down. So really the arrangement is, you know, opening up. Caesar's timbre here, very cool. Kind of like Bonnie Tyler's actually, with that hoarseness to it on the upper notes. To be fair to Caesar, this is really high. That's a B flat. That's right at the top of a tenor's range, above what your typical choral tenor is actually expected to sing. And that goes into a key change. Every now and then I fall apart. That kind of reminds me of the surprise moment in the original I showed earlier. But this one is much more natural sounding. And another seamless handover of the melody back to Ashley. Caesar's part blends right in. Caesar's part has a really nice shape to it, which harmonizes nicely with Ellie's. So together. And yeah, there's just nice variety throughout. There's barely any repeated passages of music. The example here that I'm about to play, I was listening to Jeff's part. It was doing fairly standard movement as you might expect from the role of the harmonic foundation. So he then goes down, unexpected, and then the other parts come in, if you hold me. Just not what you'd expect. Nice bit of variety, but then the flow, it's not disrupted. It all just works really well. Ellie's loving the top part there. Ashley's got a great voice, doesn't she? She started off fairly low, and now this bit, she seems to have an immense range and very good accuracy. And amidst everything else I've spoken about, we do get funky chords in this arrangement as well. That climax chord there. And then just after that we get Tonight, and on the night part, that clash that we hear is note number 2 because it's a G chord. So this one, the supertonic, chromaticism used there. And then I liked Caesar's little melodic adjustment. That's quite fun, isn't it? And the effects that Lane does as well. If they are by him, I'm assuming they are. Very interesting, very cool. And yeah, we just heard the supertonic used, note number 2. What chord do they end with? Nothing I can say, a total eclipse of the heart. So the chord, and then they end that supertonic in there. All right, well, that's that one. I'm quite keen to re-listen to this a number of times because that arrangement, I really liked it. I'm sure I've missed a lot because of the video. I'll be listening maybe without watching the video. Good flow, good differences between parts as well. Not repetitive, but not wildly contrasting to an unnatural extent anyway. Overall as well, quite a calm one, which, yeah, it's nice. VoicePlay have had some crazy performances, at least that I've seen recently anyway. I am still fairly new to them in the grand scheme of things. Let's leave that one there. Thank you again for this request, and thank you as always to everyone for watching. Would appreciate a like and subscribe. If you enjoy my content, want to support me, join the community, get access to exclusive perks, you can do so by joining the Patreon linked on the screen now, and I will see you next time.